Hi. Let me start by saying that I'm incredibly grateful for Instagram. It has given me a platform where I can share my work, where I can engage with fellow creatives, and where I can show my portfolio. And while there is a lot of good things about Instagram, there is also a few things that I dislike. And over time, I've come to realize that Instagram constrains my creativity, arguably our most important asset as photographers, more than it actually nurtures it. And in today's video, I want to share with you why. So I would say, let's get into the video. All right, let's talk about the Instagram algorithm first. And the Instagram algorithm is built to show you stuff based on what it thinks you will like. So let's say, for instance, you really like silhouetted umbrella people, cinematic edits, and before you know, Instagram will show you more of these silhouetted umbrella people, meaning that you will only be displayed a very, very narrow view of street photography. The problem? Well, you're effectively going to be boxed in. So Instagram is just going to show you a very narrow view of what street photography or any genre of photography could be. And this is not only going to constrain your potential for inspiration, but it also prevents you from elaborating your creative horizon. And I have fallen into this trap myself. This silhouetted people umbrella example was a personal experience, but it's not only related to photography, but also to gear. Like, don't get me wrong, I love gear, I love cameras, I love lenses, but at some point my Instagram feed was just flooded with only gear and very little inspiration and actual photos that could bring my photography further. So instead of inspiring me to take better photos, Instagram actually inspired me to make that next big camera purchase, which doesn't necessarily improve my photography, does it? So how can we fix this problem? Well, I encourage you to diversify your sources of inspiration. So I'm not telling you to completely stop using Instagram, because it can still be a very valuable source of inspiration and information, but at the same time, for instance, also pick up photography books, showing the full breadth of what a specific photographer has created over their lifetime. And the best part about this is that what you liked on the previous page does not affect what you see on the next page. Additionally, also follow creatives outside of your niche. For instance, me as a street photographer, I'm very much inspired by specific landscape photographers, by the way they edit and by the way they compose. So that's another thing you might want to try out. But most importantly, show the Instagram algorithms what you actually want to see. So actively tell Instagram, yo, I'm not interested in these gear posts anymore. And Instagram will show you less. And at the same time, if on your For You page there is something else that usually did not pop up, like a different genre of street photography, a different kind of street photography, just click on it, like the post to actively show that you want to see more of these specific posts. Let's talk about aspect ratios next. And as photographers, it's perfectly natural to try to get as much reach, as much likes, as much views possible on your posts, which works best by using a very specific aspect ratio that Instagram promotes, which is the 4:5 aspect ratio. Not only does it allow you to give you the most screen real estate possible, but it's also just what's the most natural to view on a phone, for instance. So I'm not even blaming Instagram for effectively imposing this 4:5 aspect ratio on you, but as a consequence, we are often incentivized to just use this 4:5 aspect ratio. And here is the consequence. Well, I realized that a shocking amount of the photos that I take are either taken with this 4:5 crop in mind, or if I shot in a different aspect ratio, I still later cropped the photo to 4:5. And would I have done so naturally? Arguably not. I would probably have experimented a little bit more with different aspect ratios, like ultra-wide compositions, or 2:3 landscape format, or 16:9, which is one of my favorites right now, by the way. And the problem is that Instagram effectively forcing you to employ this 4:5 aspect ratio because it's going to give you the most views and likes. It makes you less creative as a photographer. It makes you experiment less with different aspect ratios, and therefore it constrains the way you creatively express yourself. So how are we going to fix this? Well, some photographers have had more creative ways to fix it, such as just adding white or black bars to the top and the bottom of their photos, or to the left and the right of their photos. Other photographers have just merged 3 different separate 4x5 photos together, and when you see the whole photo in their feed, you can see that they actually together form a bigger panoramic view. And the second solution, and that's arguably the solution that is most appealing to me, is that I actually moved away my portfolio from Instagram to my own website. And no, this video is not sponsored by Squarespace, but your website allows you to just show all your work. And when I scroll through it on desktop or even on my phone, I can see everything, no matter what aspect ratios my photo has been taken in. My 16:9 photos look as impressive as my 4:5 aspect ratio photos. So I really encourage you to just open your own website, and you have like very good website softwares that allow you to easily create your own website and showing your entire work without just constraining yourself to this a bit boring 4:5 aspect ratio. All right, let's talk likes and trends next. And don't get me wrong, it feels good to all of us when we have a lot of attention on our work, the most amount of likes, the most amount of views. But this desire to go for the likes can very quickly become a creativity killer. And when we chase what's trending or what's guaranteed to bring us the most amount of likes, we do not create for ourselves anymore, but we create for others and by extension for the algorithm. I know I could share posts of silhouetted photos all day long, and I know they would get the most amount of views and likes possible. And while I could rack up likes, does it really make me grow? Probably not. Yes, it's going to grow my followers, it's going to grow my likes, but it's not going to grow my creativity or my creative vision, eventually probably leaving me unfulfilled with what I do. And of course, there is also this fear factor. If you want to slightly shift the genre of photography you shoot in, you're scared to post your new photo because it's not necessarily going to fit the vibe of your current gallery of photos you have published to Instagram previously. So how can we fix this? Well, you might have guessed it, but first and foremost, we need to re-recognize why we started photography in the first place. Not for an algorithm, not for others, but for ourselves. So instead of chasing likes, explore different types of photography, explore different cropping ratios, and try to find fulfillment in what you like to do rather than what is going to generate the most amount of likes. And you will find a degree of fulfillment that no Instagram algorithm can ever achieve. And at the end of the day, bear in mind that creativity is your most important asset as a photographer. Don't let anybody influence the way you creatively express your own vision. Not any algorithms, not any platforms like Instagram. Explore different genres of photography. Explore different aspect ratios to use no matter what Instagram imposes on you. And most importantly, create only for yourself. And if you have ever felt trapped by Instagram's constraints, let me know in the comments. And if you've taken something away from this video, please consider liking it and maybe subscribing for the channel for weekly photography related videos. Bye.